Good evening. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are marking 75 years of India's independence. We are celebrating the spirit of freedom struggle. And just like our forefathers fought side by side to give us freedom, as citizens of this country, we must stand together as one nation and support India in the most difficult times. The last 2 years, if we talk about, have been very, very challenging for us all. In fact, the COVID-19 pandemic has severely impacted our most vulnerable community. We are talking about the children of this nation, where over 250 million children across India have been out of school. Lakhs of them are orphaned. Others are with a single surviving parent, while millions more are devoid of essential elements of their childhood that includes education, medical care, and a holistic development. So what is that we can do to help these children? Well, this Independence Day, we are proud to announce a movement at its core, a sense of duty towards the nation and its people. This is the largest citizen-led movement to support children affected by the pandemic. You are watching Sunfeast India Move as One, powered by Give India and strengthened by Fit India. A unique campaign that is envisioned by Procam International that allows you to be a part of this journey of hope, empathy and empowerment with just a few clicks. A registration is all that you need and a determination to move for good and restore a child's smile. So before we open our panel for discussion, let's take a look at what really this movement is all about.
नानी तेरी मोरनी को मोर ले गए, बाकी जो बचा था काले चोर ले गए। हाय, पहचाना मुझे? मैं गीत। अरे मैं तुम्हारा फ्यूचर हूँ। और आपको तो पता ही होगा, आजकल कोविड-19 के बाद मेरे बारे में सब लोग सोचते हैं, पर पता है ज्यादा लोग कुछ कर नहीं पा रहे, क्योंकि मेरे जैसे लाखों ने स्कूल जाना छोड़ दिया है, हजारों के मम्मी पापा चले गए हैं, और भूख तो मिटने का नाम ही नहीं ले रही। पर अब आपके पास कुछ करने का एक और मौका है। सनफीस्ट इंडिया मूव एज वन से जुड़कर मेरे यानी आपके फ्यूचर के बारे में कुछ करने का। आपके हर एक रजिस्ट्रेशन से मुझे और मेरे करोड़ों भाइयों और बहनों को खाना, किताबें, हौसला, ये सब कुछ मिल सकता है। और आपको क्या करना है? सिर्फ रजिस्टर करना है, बस। आपको तो सिर्फ 2 मिनट लगेंगे। अपने फ्यूचर के लिए आप इतना तो कर ही लोगे, मुझे भरोसा है। अच्छी नानी, प्यारी नानी, रूसा रूसी छोड़ दे, जल्दी से एक पैसा दे दे तो कंजूसी छोड़ दे।
Sunfeast India Move as One is your chance to rise up and support Geet and millions like her. Join the movement that's bringing the world together for health, wellness and for a stronger community. All you must do is register at sunfeastindiamoveas1.procam.in.
You are watching the live town hall of Sunfeast India Move as One, powered by Give India and strengthened by Fit India. We are also currently live on our Facebook page, so you can post your direct questions and we will be taking them live here on the show. So straight away going across to our panelists, that includes society influencers, event stakeholders and even the participants across the country who believe in the power of the collective and the need to instill the spirit of giving that can reinforce a bond with society. So let me begin by introducing our esteemed guests, straight away beginning with the brothers who have brought about a running revolution in India. And that has helped to redefine health, fitness and charity paradigm of our country. Mr. Anil Singh, who is the MD, and Mr. Vivek Singh, Joint MD Program, International India, leading sports and management company. I would want to welcome and introduce to our panel this evening Mr. Ali Harasher, who is the Chief Operating Officer, Biscuits and Cake Cluster Foods Division, ITC Limited. Also welcoming on the panel this evening, Mr. Sumital, who is the COO, Give India, a man who is responsible for executing the strategy and the vision, scaling up donor NGO partnerships and spearheading the next phase of growth. Also joining us here on the panel, very good evening to you, Mr. Virat Charania, who is the Director of the Art of Living Foundation. Welcome to this special broadcast, sir. All right, so let me start with the pioneers of the distance running revolution in India. My opening questions to Vivek. And first of all, before we begin, स्वतंत्रता दिवस की आप सभी को बहुत-बहुत शुभकामनाएं. A very happy Independence Day to one and all. And Vivek, in the last edition, 100 plus NGOs registered for this event, and citizens globally from all walks of life have raised several US dollars. They will be talking over 210 US dollars, 1,000 US dollars that were clocked in for charity, also included 4 lakh kilometer support and livelihood. So tell us about this entire event that program launched. It is a citizen-led movement that we are talking about, because it is not just in India, but a worldwide mass movement.
Absolutely, Abita. Thank you. For so good to be back on Republic. We are delighted, happy Independence Day to all, of course, but we are delighted to be back with Sunfeast India Move as One. It's a very, very special movement. As we know, it has social impact at its center. It has community and wellness by its side. This year, most of us are unaware that lakhs of children have been severely affected by the pandemic. Education, which we call digital education, online education right now, is a distant dream for many. Nutrition, health, all have been affected. So here, it's very simple. Every registration, there is a bit that goes towards helping give children a future again. Community, what is community for us? When people come together with a common intent, a common cause, that is community service in action. Wellness, this entire movement is based on movement is life. But I'd like to stress on one thing, why this actually took place. It was actually born out of empathy and empowerment. Many times we are completely consumed by the situation around us, by the extent of the calamity that is around us, and we always wonder, what can we do? Sunfeast India Move as One is that special movement that answers the question, what can one do? Together, we can make a difference, and all we have to do is register for this. We are blessed to have the Art of Living with us. As we know, the first participant who has already signed up is His Holiness Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar. We are so fortunate to have this powered by Give India, strengthened by Fit India, partners like ITC Foods, Fasten Up, ASICS. Such wonderful people have come together. So I urge citizens from India, friends of India from all around the world, let's move. Let's bring a smile not just to our faces, but to the face of each and every child that's been affected by the pandemic. We can make a difference. You can make a difference. Together, we can all move for good.
Absolutely, making a difference it is all about, because Mr. Ali, if I can ask you now, the core ethos of Sunfeast revolves around spreading happiness. And how does an association with this movement boost that?
Yeah, so thank you so much. At ITC, our credo is nation first, sab saath bade. And this credo really makes our commitment to initiatives like this that much stronger to create some meaningful difference. And we all know that the current times have been extremely challenging, and it's impacted millions of our fellow citizens. So we are extremely proud and happy to be a part of this initiative, which is extremely unique and noble, and which intends to create some difference to our society. Now, it's really important for us that this whole platform of Sunfeast India Move as One is extremely well synergized with the ethos of Sunfeast. And Sunfeast is about spreading happiness, making others happy, and being happy. And we really thought that it was a unique idea and very well synergized, that this idea brings happiness to people who need it the most, which is children. And therefore, the cause of this initiative is extremely well aligned to the purpose of Sunfeast. Not only that, the uniqueness and the power of this initiative is that individuals can impact life. And it's not only a few. Anyone and everyone can participate and make that difference. And if and when you do that, you really feel fulfilled and happy. So, this movement, which is Sunfeast India Move as One, helps us live the purpose of Sunfeast, not only in spirit, but actually in action. We are very happy because
Absolutely,
these are very challenging times,
yes, go on,
and these efforts, individual or collective, can make a big difference.
Yes, because Mr. Ali, you've been talking about, how does it feel to be a part of this movement, and how one and all, I mean, even one person counts, and that one person can make a huge difference. But Mr. Ali, how can you tell us, especially when it comes to the extended family of ITC, how are they supporting this initiative?
So, it's for all corporates. In this context of work from home, these kind of initiatives can really unite employees across locations, divisions, functions to a goal which is beyond KPIs. And it can create a purpose beyond business for employees. We at ITC are a large family. We have more than 28,000 work people. And if you count the extended families and the friends and well-wishers who are actually a part of the ITC family, these people can make a lot of difference. And we have a lot of platforms where people from various divisions and functions come together. We are going to use each of these platforms to ensure that we inspire every single person within the ITC family to take a part in this initiative. We saw a lot of enthusiasm amongst our sales team last year, and we are hoping that the same enthusiasm will reflect even this year. And we can really force multiply the impact of some of these movements. So each step is going to count, and let's start each step one at a time.
So no doubt about that, Mr. Ali. We're just, we will be getting more and more panelists here, and they will be sharing their experiences too, because we will also be playing out the smile meter there, where India has already started clocking kilometers and contributing in restoring a child's smile. Let me go across to Mr. Sumit now, because Sunfeast India Move as One is supporting children in distress, especially those who have been affected by COVID-19. We know how devastating the second COVID wave has been, and especially for children there.
That is correct. In fact, the media narrative has been one of healthcare. Oxygen's not available, beds are not available, right? The entire focus so far in both the waves of COVID has focused much more on healthcare than other things. But behind that is the human narrative. Kids who are losing family members, kids who have lost parents, who've lost access to education, who've lost access to basic healthcare, who are facing a nutrition crisis. All of these are also outcomes of the COVID pandemic. And what Sunfeast India Move as One is doing is bringing the focus back to all of these causes. And more than 70 NGOs are now a part of this movement, who will be working with kids, especially from underprivileged backgrounds, to address each of these cause areas.
Absolutely. So just for our viewers' benefit who are joining us, this is a live broadcast you're watching on Republic TV, and we're also live on Facebook. And the registration process there, we're giving you the details, how you can register yourself. It is very, very a simple process. Mr. Virat, let me ask you now, because we are talking about the Art of Living Foundation that has done some fabulous work over the years with the Gift a Smile project in schools that have very little access. So how does Art of Living community plan to come together? And with this initiative, why is this association so special, sir?
Thank you so much. It is said, Kal Yuge Sanghe Shakti, which means in this era, we need to come together, and that's our strength. And Art of Living, over the last 40 years, over 155 countries, has always brought communities and causes together. And what better cause than our children? In the pandemic, kids have lost parents, they've lost access to education. So this is a community we really need to support. They say if you want to plan for 1 year, plant rice. And if you want to plan for 10 years, plant trees. But if you want to plan for 100 years, educate a child. And that's what Art of Living has been doing. Today, we run more than 700 schools across India, which give free education to more than 70,000 children. Their books, their travel, all their expenses, including a midday meal, is taken care of. And a lot of these kids actually come from rural and tribal areas. And that's a community we really need to support. So I think this is a beautiful initiative by Sunfeast India and all the other value partners. And Art of Living stands for not just physical, but mental, emotional, spiritual, and even societal wellness. And that's where I think we need to keep our minds steady and we need to move our bodies, because movement is medicine. So I think it's time that we move for the cause of our children.
Absolutely, because also important to say why movement is all the more important, because back-to-back lockdowns, national lockdowns that India has witnessed owing to the first and the second wave. So moving all together becomes very, very important. But viewers, Sunfeast India Move as One encourages citizens to run, to jog, to walk, to cycle, even use a wheelchair or a treadmill or even a stationary bike to pledge a distance and to commit a positive action for themselves while making a difference to a child's future that has been impacted by the pandemic. Let us also hear from the other participants of this year how India is moving in this movement.
I'm running Sunfeast India Move as One. So with this time my Simao route is 365 kilometers. That is the distance I've committed. And the idea is that, that 365 days of a year, every single day you should be active. And I want everyone to come forward and be a part of this.
This year I am participating in the ProCam Sunfeast India Move as One event, donating for the COVID-affected children. And for that I am pledging myself for 999 kilometers.
मैं इस साल सनफीस्ट इंडिया मूव एज वन में भाग ले रहा हूँ, तो आप भी इसमें भाग लीजिए.
I have taken part in Sunfeast India Move as One. This year they are fundraising for children who are affected with the pandemic. They are giving this money for their education and for their health. I am walking 50 kilometers for this movement. So please, you also register for yourself and please contribute your money and your time.
Come on India, let's move for good.
Let us move for good.
Well, come on, India, move as one, because you're watching Sunfeast India Move as One, powered by Give India and strengthened by Fit India, only on Republic TV, where you can register on sunfeastindiamoveas1.procam.in for just ₹149. And your participation in Sunfeast India Move as One has the power to restore a child's smile. Let me go across to our other guests and very esteemed panelists joining us here on the broadcast, welcoming Mr. Haile Gebrselassie, who is the distance running legend from Ethiopia. He is the ambassador of the Sunfeast India Move as One, a sporting jewel who has 2 Olympic golds, 4 World Championships, 27 distance running world records. He's also one of the most loved athletes, and he is fondly referred to as King Haile. Well, very good evening to you, King Haile, because now you're an entrepreneur, a sports administrator too, and also Mr. Vijay Raghavan Venugopal, who is the co-founder and the CEO of Fasten Up, who is joining us here on the broadcast. We are heading the nutrition revolution in India. Fasten Up has been an integral part of this movement for a second year in a row. So, Haile, let me begin with you, because Namaste, you've been to India twice, I believe. How has been the overall experience? And also, did you follow up on India's performance at the recently concluded Tokyo Olympics?
Well, first of all, I would like to say thank you to be a part of this Indian Sunfest Indian run. And good afternoon here, good evening in India. I just had a chance to watch some of the Olympic Games, but not everything, by the way. And what I don't know, honestly speaking, right now, because of I was traveling around, outside a capital city, that's why I had no access, to watch, most of the race. Of course, I had a chance to watch, just some of the race, the race, run by the Ethiopians, but was not that good result. No matter what, and of course, I've been in India a few times, Mumbai, Delhi, and the other one, just the thing, what you call it, a little bit, and then south. It's so wonderful. I don't know if you hear me what I'm talking, just now, today we are here, just If there is, just any question, just from you, just I'm ready, to share my experience and everything. Okay.
Well, it's great because you can also tell us how important is the impact and the power of sport for you.
Well, the power of sport, that's a very good question. I don't know how many of you are aware of, just about sport. Some people, they talk, they think, oh, sport, for my health, sport is for my, I am, just overweight. Some people, they're telling us, oh, I need to exercise because the doctor, order me, just to do sport. Well, sport is, believe it or not, is everything in our life. Why we need sport? Why we need sport? Why we need to exercise? Of course, one of the main reasons, of course, is, just sport, bringing people together. And it's wonderful for your health, for your body, for your heart, everything. But one thing, what I want to tell you, just why we need sports, that is very important. Why our parent or our grandparent or great-grandparents, why they didn't do, just a sport? Why sport is nowadays? Why is exercising, to do, nowadays? Because of many reasons. The first reason, what I want to tell you, just because of our lifestyle is completely changed, completely different from, just the past. Because of, just the food, what we eat, the weather, and the circumstance, and even, when we talk about the food, everything, is more artificial. And we are too stressed for the environment because of technology. Technology bring everything in our house. Just we listen, news from all over the world. Bad news. That bad news, it brings just a lot of problems. In our heart. You see, we are putting just a time bomb inside our body, inside our heart. That's why the best treatment, the best way to do exercise, to do sport. If you do sport, if you exercise, if you sweat, this is the best solution. You don't need to go to a hospital or a clinic or to buy a medicine.
Very true.
The best medicine, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, because I guess that is why we know of these new diseases are often referred to as lifestyle diseases, because it is the lifestyle that we have now adopted is, making us unwell, or many of those people are still not exercising because so far, Mr. Venugopal, if we talk about Faster Now, because that has been fueling athletes over the years. So how does a movement like this become a trigger for society to take just that first step? That first step is the very important step, sir.
So firstly, it's an honor to be with Mr. Gebrselassie, who has been an inspiration for a lot of people around the world, including India athletes. For Fastened Up, it has been the second year of association with this event. Last year, it was Sunfeast India Run as One. This year, it is India Move as One. And as the concept says, it's all about moving out, doing a bit of activity, doing a bit of fitness, which is very important. And today, it's a very symbolic day today, in fact, with the 75th year of independence. And it was an honor to see a lot of Olympians up there on the Rashtrapati Bhavan, and also the Independence Day today. And there is a lot of, I think, a movement happening in the country towards making India active. And in that, it's very important to look at, nutrition as an aspect, because that is also going to fuel people getting into activity and fitness. And one more thing that I think is very important to mention today is also that the cause of this year's Sunfeast India Move as One is towards children. And I think the government today has also re-emphasized the need for activity and sports for children towards taking India into a much more powerful position in terms of sports. And I think it's very important that all of us as stakeholders come together and help in this cause. And I think in this event of India Move as One, there are multiple stakeholders, including the government, including private enterprises, including individuals who are eagerly trying to participate. And it is together that we can make a difference. And hopefully, in 2024, when Paris comes, this will be one of the small sparks which leads India to a better performance, better position in the sporting scene, thereby also making India more active and healthy as we go along. So happy to be part of this event and great
of course,
to be
because
here.
we are looking to bettering our tally, our medal tally at the next Olympic Games there, but also for the benefit of our viewers, even as how Mr. Vijayaraghavan pointed out, we are looking at a movement which is backed by the government of India, also telling our viewers that every registered participant will also get a chance to redeem their vouchers, isn't it, Mr. Vijayaraghavan, for the favorite Fast Enough products. So what are you waiting for? Go register right now on Sunfeast India MoveAs1.procam.in. Let me also go back to Anil now. Anil, a very, very good evening to you. We are talking about a holistic movement, a development that is now being initiated through this program. And you were talking about community building and wellness. Now, program started with the running movement in India with these 4 properties raising crores in charity. But it is not about charity more. It is all about community building, isn't it?
Oh, it is. I mean, first of all, Jai Hind to all your viewers, and thank you to be back on Republic. It's magnificent. And for what a lovely, I mean, the 75th year of independence. And it's such wonderful to have to see King Haile there and all our friends and partners from all different walks of life partnering this wonderful initiative. So yes, I mean, we've been doing it for the running movement by the grace of God with the privilege of ProCam to sort of seed into this nation. And it's grown from strength to strength. It's made a difference on all walks of life, be it charity, be it community, be it health, be it our showcasing India to the globe on all fronts. And, you know, the most unsaid story of that movement is it's close to about ProCam through its running vertical has raised over 450 crores for charity. And that's a great story and a privilege to be a part of such a wonderful, you know, chain that we're trying to bring to society. But, you know, what are we doing this for? It's for our future. It's for our nation's future. Children, kids, you know, we are all invested in it. And if we do not take that malaise that they're facing as a present today into consideration, we are not doing ourselves justice. So it's all about coming together. It's not only based on social impact, it's for your own wellness, it's for you to be able to interact with your community through challenges, through other different, you know, interesting initiatives you can do within the system that offers you. So it's a win-win for all, and it's fun. So why not get involved?
Absolutely there, because Anil, we have been also getting many of those questions as they are asking why it is just limited to a 30-day program. But let me also go across more of our guests joining us here on the broadcast this evening. Dr. Anurag Batra, who is the Chairman and Editor-in-Chief, VW Business World and Exchange for Media Group. He's an entrepreneur, media mogul and a journalist and an eternal optimist rolled into one. Also welcoming radio host Rishi K from Fever and Radio 1. And we also have Rohan Bopanna, who is a Grand Slam winner and ASICS athlete, joining us here on the broadcast. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us here on Republic. Rohan will be joining us as we will be getting that first question to him. But Rohan, all right, I believe you are with us. Running has been a very, very crucial part of your training, I believe, and everywhere, most of the sports that we are looking at have been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, when we talk about the contribution, whether you can, do your 6 a.m. run and contribute to a child's 9 a.m. study time, how is it significant in an everyday routine?
Hi, first of all, thank you so much, for having me on the show today. I think it is one thing which is really extremely important is, having a running routine in your regime through and through your career, because I think it is whatever you do, I think, it's just about warming up your body after you're doing the stretches and starting, your blood flowing into your muscles and everything. And also it gives a good fundamental to whatever sport you're playing. Right, so having that, the fact of having a good warm up, even for tennis, before I get into playing my sport, running was definitely part of it. I mean, there are a lot of, not just about warming up, but also doing a lot of long distance running to improve the stamina and whatever it may be, or whenever it was possible. I think this is something I always enjoy. I still try and do as much as possible wherever I can. The only difference is that now, majority of the time when I'm traveling, I'm playing tournaments that we're part of a bio bubble, so the running happens on the treadmill. It does not happen. I would love to, run outdoors, and I think it really reduces a lot of stress, gives you a good perspective on your mind to really look forward on the day. And I prefer to do this, every morning before breakfast, actually.
Well, that's a routine actually one needs to put themselves in, rather to force themselves in a way, isn't it, Rohan? Because there is no putting up for tomorrow. Let there be a Monday and then I'll start my training or my exercises. But let me go across to Rishi now. Rishi, well, that's the face behind the voice that many of them have been listening there almost on a daily basis. But Rishi, one question that I have from you, because India has faced nearly 2 national lockdowns there. And I believe most of the time when people are listening to you or when they're traveling, either going to office in the morning or coming back home during the evening time. And that is when I believe most of them get to listen to the radio. But इस बार जब national lockdown लगा था तो गाड़ियां तो चल नहीं रही थी. So how did you connect with your listeners? How are Radio 1 and Fever Team listeners making this year better than last year, especially for the children?
Well, Amita, first and foremost, happy Independence Day to everybody who's watching. And on a lighter note, I just want to say that Ron Bopanna might do a lot of running and exercising, but his opponents don't need to do it. If you follow his career very closely, he's known as Boom Boom Bopanna. And his serve is so menacing that the opponent doesn't get it across the net in the first place, leave alone having to run around and do a rally after that. So, Rohan, thank you for this, your service to the nation, my friend, and we're extremely proud of everything that you've achieved. Coming to your question, Amita, you'd be surprised, but research shows that there's been a resurgence and an increased listenership in radio, simply because you would imagine people sitting at home are watching a lot of OTT, Netflix, Amazon, what have you, and a visual fatigue sets in. The beauty about radio is it's an ambient listening medium, and radio and podcasts as mediums have actually grown leaps and bounds in terms of numbers, because you can cook, you can exercise, you can be part of Simao and just have it playing in the background. That's what radio and podcasts do. They're pure audio ambient listening mediums. So yeah, I know that, perhaps you heard me on the way to work and on the way back, but the majority of India still, has a radio set or manages to listen even at home during a lockdown, and uses it as a wonderful way of ambient listening and getting over visual fatigue. So it's an incredible honor to be part of this. I'm a longtime admirer of Vivek and Anil, and even before we were associated with them, in this capacity, they've been on my show as speakers, and as you would know, Amita, they're extraordinary in the kind of passion and belief that they have, and Procam's results are there for everybody to see. And before I allow you to go to your next question, I'd just like to say that normally in marathons, the big thing for prestige and pride is you have your bib, And the beauty about Simao is you still get that bib, even if you're not a marathon runner. Because if you contribute and you make your contribution to these wonderful children and you partner with Give India, you do get a bib there to show that you're part of this incredible bit.
Absolutely. What better recognition that it could be, because Rishi, it's been great listening to you and now watching you live on Republic, because we're looking at more and more listener connect, but also viewer connect this time around as you are speaking about this movement. Let me go across now to Dr. Batra now. Dr. Batra, 2 of the biggest things that we talk about right now is fitness, health, and hope. Now, these are initiatives that are keeping us hopeful for the future. What are your thoughts, sir?
Action is consciousness in play. And first of all, a happy Independence Day to your viewers. The fact that we are talking about Simao on this day tells us that a lot of things come together to make an initiative successful. My congratulations to Anil and Vivek on raising a sizable amount of money to be able to help these children build their future when India has completed 75 years. And you're really right. In the last 18 months, if there are two things that define the future, define the focus, one is the focus on health and human, immunity, which will come through walking, running, physical activity. And because of lockdowns, there was constraints. But Simao is making sure that those constraints come together in a way to make it happen. In fact, sometimes you make good out of the constraints you have, and you create something that works out so beautifully. Simao is that. Second is hope. You talked about hope. I think by this action, by doing Simao, Anil and Vivek and Procam and Simao giving hope in a tangible way to these children. And this hope will build India's future. So I wish them luck. The fact that we're talking on an Independence Day gives us hope that more and more people will be inspired to look after their own health. We've seen corporate executives burn out and die. A lot of corporate executives, I must use this forum to say, while they do run, they do walk, they don't sleep enough. And it has been proved the lack of sleep over a long term is the biggest detrimental to your health. So congratulations to Anil and Vivek for putting this together and making sure that there is both health, fitness, health, and hope. And I keep saying we live in a 3C economy, a collaborative economy, a contactless economy, and a compassionate economy. Simao is truly a great example of collaborations across media with donor organizations, with sponsors that supporting it, Sunfeast and other sponsors give India. It is about contactless, and most important, it is about compassion in action. So congratulations again.
No, because you mentioned sleeplessness, sir. I completely, blame it through my personal experience. That has been work from home. That has actually led to sleeplessness, and what I've been sharing with the other experiences too of the people there. But it's a very, very easy procedure that we are talking about, how one can actually register themselves. So I am on Sunfeast India Move as one.procam.in, and here is register now, where you can easily register yourself. And I'm just going to put, yes, you can see it now. So here is the registration process, which is very, very easy here, and 149 rupees is the registration fee, and from here you can register yourself and be a part of this movement. Let me go back now also. This time around, we have something music panel, especially if we talk about the people who have a very, very special connection to the movement. So Mr. Prasoon Joshi is joining us live. He wears multiple hats. He is a lyricist, he's a screenwriter, he's the chairperson of the Central Board of Film Certification. He is also a recipient of the Padma Shri Award for his contribution to the field of arts, literature and advertising. Also joining us is Mr. Salim Merchant, a music composer there. And Mr. Prasoon Joshi, it's been a pleasure having you here with us on Republic. And we've been listening to the anthem, sir, and what a great response that the anthem has got, sir. Because soch padho to mumkin hai, likh padho to mumkin hai. These are very, very powerful and inspiring words, sir.
Thank you very much for inviting me. And it's a pleasure to be with Vivek and Anil again. They have been constantly trying to make this movement successful. And thank you, Republic TV, for partnering and giving the platform. See, when I wrote this, I remember the thought in my head was, and I had, also written a film, as you know, Bhag Milkha Bhag, which was about running as well. So I have visited the thought of running, and I have spoken with many people. What I realize is it's all about beginning. Beginning is what it is most difficult thing. Shuruaat jo hai, wo uska challenge hota hai. How do you start this? Aapka inertia, to break the inertia, That is the reason, if you see the first few words of the song will tell you कि खामोश झील के अंदर एक जिंदा लहर उठाना, हर दिल की खुली सड़क पर उम्मीदें लिखते जाना, सोच लिया तो मुमकिन है, निकल पड़ो तो मुमकिन है. So it's about, and again if you go further, सोए सोए सपनों को एक हलचल ख्वाब दिखाना, बेबाक इरादे लेकर कर बिन बंदिश बहते जाना, सोच लिया तो मुमकिन है. So it's about the beginning. What happens is, if you have the right beginning, if you can break the inertia, उसके बाद आप कुछ नहीं करते हैं, दौड़ खुद करती है. उसके बाद दौड़ आपको लेके जाती है. और ये भी याद रखने की चीज है, ये कोई भाग नहीं है, दौड़ है. भागना जो होता है is running away. It's not running away. It is running for. So there is something, there's a difference between running away from something. ये दुनिया से भागने की बात नहीं है, दुनिया के साथ दौड़ने की बात है. और जब आप दुनिया के साथ दौड़ते हैं, दौड़ लगाते हैं, तो कुछ देर बाद फिर दुनिया पीछे छूट जाती है, फिर आप अपने साथ दौड़ रहे होते हैं. और उसके बाद एक और फेज आता है जब आप भी नहीं रह जाते, सिर्फ दौड़ रह जाती है. That's why I call this very meditative. I felt that people who are actually वो एक धुन में निकल चलते हैं और हमको बस इतना ही करना है. We have to just nudge them to do that. And what is an anthem? An anthem is actually a kind of reminder to yourself that someday I pledged. Anthems do remind you of what you had pledged for, what you started with for. And that's what I feel this, I'm very happy that this with good friends of mine, Salim and Suleiman and Sukhiji, this has been able to do
anthem,
that.
Sir. We are talking about it because it is a very powerful and very inspiring and a call to action, because that is the very essence of this anthem. So while our all guests continue to be with us, why just not play that anthem out for our viewers? Because it is all about taking the first step, as Prasunjit said, and he wants to motivate people with this anthem. Let's play that out.
झील के अंदर एक जिंदा लहर उठाना, हर दिल की खुली सड़क पे उम्मीदें लिखते जाना, सोए सोए सपनों को एक हलचल ख्वाब दिखाना, बेबाक इरादे लेकर बिन बंदिश बहते जाना, सोच लिया तो मुमकिन है, निकल पड़ो तो मुमकिन है, सोच लिया on the moment at hand, stick to the plan, never stop, never again, don't think, no war and there's no pain, only adrenaline running through my veins, yeah. Break through and I never quit, mind is on the finish line till I'm over it. When I fall, I rise, you'll see high, like a flame from the ashes. I think you stop you now.
इंडिया, वक्त आ गया है कि हम आगे बढ़े और इस महामारी से प्रभावित बच्चों की मदद के लिए हाथ बढ़ाएं और एक बार फिर से उनके चेहरे पर मुस्कान लेकर
अपने दोस्तों और फैमिली मेंबर्स के साथ मिलकर सनफीस्ट इंडिया मूव एज वन में हिस्सा लें.
आइए साथ मिलकर कुछ अच्छा करते हैं.